Everyone. I wanted to take a minute and kind of make a champs on a budget video. Uh, I know that there's been some opinions going around lately. Ocho and Slim and a few of the other guys have been making videos and have been putting out um, options as far as spending goes, and how you don't necessarily have to go crazy in order to progress in this game. You could do so for fairly cheap, and several of us have different methods. Whether it's we're going to spend $50 once a month on one thing, or um, $100 once a month on do 1 mega, or spread it across and do different things in order to reach where we're trying to get. I'm going to show you something that I do, and this is outside of um, my other spendings that I do. However, it's the one that if I decided to go quote unquote free to play, uh, I would probably go to this as a bare minimum, just because of the amount of return on investment that you get with this. Now, keep in mind, any dollar spent on the game, while it does help to keep the game alive, is a complete waste, because there's nothing tangible that we get out of this when you quit the game. One day, whether it be next year or 10 years from now, there's nothing that you can turn around and sell, or even have as a keepsake, besides the account itself. But something that I do is I do the passes. Strap up pass is a choice. Um, there's no added bonus other than you get to move around the plates that you honestly pay for, to the people that you want. A lot simpler than the one plate move a month. It is a absolute waste of money. However, it's kind of, they've almost made it necessary to have, and it's really a slap in the face because of the fact that we actually pay for a lot of these plates that we have. There are ways to get free plates. We'll go on into that in another video, but for this, we're going to focus on these passes, and I'm going to look at these two right here: the King's Pass, King of Kings Pass, and the DX Army Pass. Uh, a lot of people look at the DX Army and like, oh, you're paying $20 a month for Sean. No, Sean is what you get with the pass, but what it does for you is it unlocks armory loot. Same thing with KOK. There's not Their tour gets you the coin showdown promoters. Um, these guys right here. Let's go to promoter. Uh, but we don't even use those anymore, right? They're all just kind of sitting on the shelf, going completely unused. My thing and my target for them is this tour right here, which refreshes every week. This here, which is the Shawn Michaels tour, and this here, which is our KOK tour. Every week, you end up getting currency for it. For the Shawn one, I think it ends up being 24,000 a month of prize wall currency for the armory loot, which once you multiply that times 6 for obtaining it, you end up with 144,000. And then we're going to multiply that number again times 6 for spending it, which is going to give us 864,000. Now, why is that important to get almost a million additional? And that's simple. For this here, this armory loot contest, getting this character, the month revamp to 6-star gold is pretty much useless. They're rarely any good. It's actually really disappointing how bad they continue to make Eddie. It's just a letdown, and there's no reason for it. It's If anybody's paying attention out there, Scopely, give us a good Eddie. You know, You did 2 reworks that need reworks. It's pathetic. But still, we're trying to reach all the way down here to this 3,030,999 milestone. So this is for $30 a month. The goal is to get us to this milestone, which has either a moment or a gear. So there have been a couple gears that have landed on this list. However, it's usually a moment. And then, if you look at the milestone right above it, we get a guaranteed plate. Is it a game-changing plate? No. Is it a good plate? Sure. Not every month it is, but for the most part, you're getting a guaranteed plate right there. And this is for $30 a month. That's the first 2 things that are guaranteed. Now, with that, I will say we do need to look at the fact that this tour here, while normal and hard mode are fairly accessible, normal is your A and B tier. Hard mode is usually your S tier. Both the one that you get that's fairly obtainable for the most part, free to play, and then the paywalled S tier, and then your hell mode is your S plus tier. There is a lot of points in this S plus tier as well, but there have been months where I only have 1 and I still end up getting to that milestone. 5-week MLCs are better than 4-week MLCs, but we're talking about getting guaranteed items with our currency. And if you look right now, I've got, that's 24,000. Let's do the math on this. 24,6, 198, and we still have another week to go. To do a mega on these, it is 30. Ooh, hang on, not 30. That math is not going to math right. Let's go back. I need 246. 198 divided by 30,000. Hello. So we can do 8 as of right now. 8 pulls of these. The chances of getting something out of these far outweighs anything that you're going to get from these. Now, this is kind of an exception. This has been a very good loot for many people, but the difference is this is $100. There are no guarantees in this. This is costing 30, and it might not get me a character, but it's getting me the things that make these characters good. If we look at this moment, the character that it's making good is actually somewhat surprising. And there's 2 that I've got interest in. And it's not new Dom, I can tell you that, because he does not look good. It's not new Ray, because he is absolute trash without both the gear and his plate. If you take one away, then this moment becomes important, because now you need the 100% that you're getting from the green and from the all color. You need that if you didn't get his plate and you only got the gear. Without the gear or the plate, then just forget him. He's not even usable. But what becomes interesting is the old Acro Ray. And Dirty Dom gets even stronger, because we're going to be doing 100% more with Dirty Dom. Then there's some submission stuff there and whatnot, but there's really not much there for the new Dom, but he's okay. He's not going to be your go-to. You have better showboats if you've got Pig Boy. But this moment and each moment that has come in the past, I've gotten, let's see. There's been a couple recently that I've gotten from their. These are all the old ones. Okay, so we got the zombie one last month. We got this one the month before. We got this one the month before that. As you can see, we just gotten all these moments from the Cena one from the Cena MLC. And it just keeps going back and going back, and it's ever since they started offering these, I've been getting them, and it's a very cheap way to get that moment. It also is giving us a lot of currency that we can go to a prize wall. It doesn't have to be just loot, which loot is a slot machine, right? Your odds are 1%. So with this option, instead of $100, we're at $30, and we're looking at some guaranteed options. On a 5-week MLC, you're going to end up with more of these medallions than you would on a 4. So options like the Money in the Bank 2025 gear for Julia, which really opens her up. I'm going to say the moment's more important, but the gear with all this MP Down coaches that just came out is really important. It's a great gear to have for her because MP is very valuable in the MP Down meta that they're trying to create. But let's say you have that, but you need shards. These are huge shard walls. You're talking 500 on S plus tiers, where the loot for $100 is giving 75 for these same characters. And that's a maybe that you'll get 75 of them. 500 should be getting you a lot further than what that 75 would do for a fraction of the cost. If we keep scrolling down, you have some guaranteed cards. Now, 359 and the 353 for Seth Freakin and Bray Wyatt, I will say, is probably going to be out of reach, even with the $30 spend. You're probably looking at $100 from the portal to get that. Neither of them are worth $100 today. They just had Seth for $30, and I think even that is a slight higher than his actual value. He's closer to a $20 character today. Devon is way better than him. Of course, both of them, that's saying you have everything for it. But even like a Brutus Beefcake, I think I will end up getting just enough to where if I didn't have Brutus, there he is, and he is fantastic. Of course, he needs all the bells and whistles too because he's an older Hall of Fame. He's not the old Hall of Fame from the old tokens, but he was 2 years ago, I believe. We're approaching, I think this February will make 3, but he's still extremely strong in this game. Extremely strong. Then we scroll down a little bit, and we've got characters like Creed, who, yeah, he's got one moveset since they nerfed him, and you have to have the plate combo to make it work, but that's a fairly accessible price for him, and that may even be at a no-spin level, much less a 30. And I'm going to say the same for Mercy the Buzzard. But if you don't have Nia Jax, that's a great place to get her. It's guaranteed instead of doing all those loots that are, slot machine odds. Same, you go a little bit further. You got some plates down here. The red reinforcement is great for Seth Freakin. It's great for Vader at a very cheap price. Uso cap is a throwaway. The blasting off is way overpriced. It's one of the worst anniversary plates in the game. And then you got the blue flurries. I'll probably end up grabbing the blue flurries and throw it on a Tiffy strap just because I don't have one on her, and if she's ever CSS, it just makes life easier. But there are some guarantees with this that you don't get with spending the loot. And like I said, this is just significantly cheaper. The straps, this is not a good place to get straps. If they end up bumping these up to the 200%, then maybe, but it's also not. Oh, all right. So we said that it's not a great place. If you're missing a Hall of Fame strap, because those come out so rare, then sure. But you have to keep in mind, these are not rainbow straps. So you are going to be getting, we're not worried about the damage. We know it's, as far as the class goes, a striker, acrobat tech, trick, powerhouse, showboat, so it is going to be RNG based. And while not completely terrible, I think I would focus more towards the loot itself if you're needing some straps. But it's not a bad use of that. I'll restate that. It's not a bad use of it, but uh, you should have some 100%ers by now. They've just been floating around for free from milestones and stuff like that, as long as you've been able to collect them with in-game currency. All right, so now we get over to the loots. We have plenty of loots here, and we're going to be able to pull on these a lot more for our $30. Right now, where I'm currently at, we can do 8 pulls, which give us 5 per pull on those, 15 per pull on those, and 15 for pull on those. Let's see, 15 times 8 is 120. So we have 120 chances of getting something that is going to be better than just low level shards alone. All of these, we're going to start with Charlotte. All of these gears make these characters to be the best that they can be. There are some throwaways in here. Undertaker hasn't been good for a long time. I'm going to say he hasn't been good since the 6-star bronze meta. Some people argue he was good in 6-star silver. I didn't like him. But the JBL gears are in here. Yeet gears in here. Punk gears in here. There's so many gears in here. And I have pulled Haku. I have pulled Scottish, Piper Niven. And granted, she's not a top tier, but they made her use. She was one of the usable reworks that they did. I pulled her gear, and I have pulled CM Punk's gear. I had CM Punk's gear before I had Punk. And these gears are extremely valuable. This is more valuable than 75 shards of somebody that you could easily get, call it an MLC or 2 later, at a much higher rate. If we're looking at that prize wall, 500 is just such a much higher rate than 75, right? It's not even comparable. Now, these change every month, and some months the offers are better than others. But these are huge chunks. And just way more bang for your buck. So that's where I'm going to end this off at. I think that if you're going to spend, and let's say you're not able to spend much, for $30 a month for the 2 memberships, and yeah, you get Sean. Are you going to use Sean? I wouldn't. But he's very, very good. I use him for the tour. It's just kind of one of those. He's not in the hype loots, I don't think. It was supposed to be everybody in the game besides zombies and the others, but I'm pretty sure him and KOK are not in there. Oh, and this is going to make us go all the way down, 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 down. Okay, so we're starting into that area that they might be. Here's all your low level, not so great. Rocker Sean is really good with the new plate, just FYI. He's better than he's ever been. Ray is also in that category because of the new plate. And that is the Blackman plate. Oh, come on. It's X-Pac. That's wrong, Sean. But anyways, if you got the hype for him, oh, they even have Brock Lesnar down here. It'd be nice to get some for him, being that we just got him not long ago. All right, so, man, if these are in here, if mutants are in there, then they should have the turtles in there. I'm sorry. That's just, these should not be in here if the turtles are not in here. Going down, 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 down. And we're doing all this to see if he's worth using in competitive mode. Look, Sean is still the best technician in the game, maybe. I'll say number 2. Ilya, then him, and good Lord. Anyways, if he's in here and you get hype for him, then sure, yes, bring him up. Right now, mine's sitting at 6-star bronze because that's where he needs to be to win his tours. And while he's good as a fighter, I've just got other people that come in mind before him whenever I go to do my feud lineup, and especially since they've switched over to hype. Unfortunately, we are forced into using who we get hype for, unless we're wanting to, spend an arm and a leg, which this is the whole point of this video, is to not spend an arm and a leg. This is just food for thought. They're not in here. My 2 cents on where, if you're going to spend money, or if your funds are limited and you want to get the most bang for your buck, I think these 2 passes are going to be your best spot. Do I think the Triple H one is worth it? No. It's $50 is starting to get, once you add that together, you're at $80, and let's take a look at that tour. Hell mode. Now you're getting a good chunk here. So 2,500 plus 3,000 plus 3,500 is 6,300 times 6 for buying, and then times 6 for spending. You're getting 226,800. That's substantially more than what Michael's is, but you're paying over double of what you would for Michael's. And I think that starts to get to the point where it's like, all right, that might be a little too much. We're trying to keep it cheap. Because with this, if I ever decided to pull back, then this is where I'd be going down to. Just these two right here. I'd drop my universal pack and just go to these three things. That's $40 a month total. And even with the strap up pass, you could take 1 month and just say, all right, these are the guys that I'm planning to use primarily focused for the next 2 to 3 months. You move the plate to them, and then you drop the strap up pass. Heck, with a lot of the plates that I've gotten, I'll be honest, it's I use the strap up pass for fun more than I do actual permanent moves. I've got straps that I simply just pull off the character and just leave because I've gotten so many of those plates. And of course, that's going to be your submission plates. Um, but even the Barber's blades, they're stuck on straps. NWO plate, they're stuck on straps. You can see I've got two of the Ronda's jackets right there that they're just there. I wish I could sell those straps, but unfortunately, they're just there because I'm not paying anything to remove those plates from those straps. Same, I've got a stun immunity from a long time ago. What else? Even the Devon specs. I get so many of those from feud boxes that I just wait till I get another one, then throw it on a 100%er instead of a 40%er. I know that's not the case for everyone, and I completely understand that, but even the strap up pass though has gotten to the point where it's like, all right, we can start looking at stopping using that, and then we're at $30 a month again, which is still spending on something that's intangible, but at the same time, I'd rather do that than to spend on a slot machine that is giving me 75 shards of somebody for a very premium price. This is just my 2 cents, but I hope that this helped anybody. If you're like struggling, saying, look, I'm willing to do something, but I don't want to pay, I can't do a mega even every month. This is a good way to get resources, which is what you're mostly going to get out of this. But you could even still get cards. There's the is it the moments? There's still some cards in this one that are very good. Your chances of getting them are decreased, but look at that though, 10% for a featured when your $100 loot, which you're paying more money for, is 1%. Look at that, 1% versus 10%. So just be smart with your money. You don't have to have everything on day one. Chasing it MLC or two later is a lot better and a lot more affordable. But that's my 2 cents. I hope y'all have a good one. And we're about to have reset in about another hour and a half. So looking forward to that to see what the last week of this brings before we start Christmas.